Hi, this is a small off-grid camper update, more like an upgrade. Now I still have to replace the battery or add batteries to this. This battery is very weak compared to other batteries, but it is putting out some power through the plugs. Now I do have loose plugs. They are grounded. You can do. I just got them stuck in there. They're pretty loose. I really need to put some new plugs in. I just might do that. I have the 1100 watt power inverter off the battery. Of course, the 12 volt and the DC plugs, the USB charging ports still work. All the outlets do work. If I plug something into them, it's getting power to it. I did take this out because I did not like this inverter being in here. I wanted something a little bit stronger. So if I had to run something in here, I could. Now, this is not the upgrade or update to this camper. You can see there's two large wires coming through the wall there. Alright, what I did is I wanted to make it, let me shut the door here. My van's running right there. I wanted to make it to where I could charge a battery or battery pack in here if the solar's not working, if it's bad weather, or if for some reason, say my generator will not start, or just, you know, whatever, if it's snowing real heavily and we're in the camper and our batteries start going down, we have to charge them. So how can you do that? Well, I have two ways to charge this now. One is through my generator. It does have a DC output that plugs into a DC port to charge. And I will show you what I did up front on the front of the camper. Also, I can charge it using my van. And you're going, okay, how are you doing that if your batteries are in here? Well, you see the 2 gauge wire coming through? I made it so I can hook up to my vehicle or my generator. Now, I will not leave this hooked up full time. The positive side will always be disconnected unless I have to use it in case something shorts out. I want the positive side to be disconnected on the outside as far as the plugs and stuff go. Now, it will still have power outside. Right here. This is still going outside. But I want to show you what I did. This is a small update to the off-grid camper. Right now, my alternator is what's feeding the inside battery. Now, I put a couple bus bars up. You do not have to get bus bars like this, but you need at least a decent set of bus bars with some heavy lugs on it. 150 amp, 250 amp. I would go no less than 150 amp. They're pretty cheap for a set of 150. Now, this is 150, this is 250. The set I bought had different sizes. That's not a big deal. You can see. Now, I do have to attach the wire here to the trailer. I do have some cable clamps that'll clamp these cables down. This is how I will charge it if I have to use my vehicle. Now, let's say all I have is my generator. Well, that's what this is for. The generator came with a plug that will plug into one of these, and it will output DC current and input into something like this. And it's wired up to the bus bar. Now, I do have a large fuse on here. I have a 20 amp fuse. That will limit the amount of power that it kicks in. My generator only kicks out, I believe, 13.9 amps. So, you know, I could probably put a 15 amp fuse in here. That's not an issue. All right, let me shut this van off. So you can hear me. Okay, once again, what I did, I made my own cables. I did order a set of jumper cables. They were the worst pieces of crap I've ever seen in my life. They were pretty cheap. I used the ends, and I used 2-gauge welder's wire to make my own cables. This means as long as my vehicle's running, or we have a vehicle around that has any type of alternator on it, I can plug it in and just hook it up to my battery on the inside. It's hooked up through here, right here. So I can just hook up a set of jumper cables to these and charge my internal battery. Like I said, my generator has a 12-volt output, which means I can just plug it in here and charge the battery. When I'm not using this, I will disconnect the positive side. I will make sure this one is off completely. I will remove this cable completely from here, and here I will just unplug the positive side, and I'll just like zip tie it to the positive wire here. I'll zip tie the negative side to the negative wire here, and this negative wire I can leave on. I can just wrap it around here and zip tie it down. If my solar's not working, this is one way to get electricity and power. And for some reason, if I have to come out here, I can hook up a power inverter outside if I need to do that. You know, like here, or even here on the small ones if it's a small inverter. So I can hook up all kinds of stuff out here, which I don't want. I just want it inside. I want all the power going into the battery on the inside because it is a small battery and I only have one. Right now, everything in this camper is running off of my inside battery. Let's hook this back up. Start the van, and let's get some power on the inside and let's test a couple things. Okay, so right now you can see power's going through the plugs. The solar is working. Now, unfortunately, all I have out here is some DC stuff. Just like before, everything's working. And I'm not going to get to the back because I'd have to move this. I had to take some water stuff off so I can measure all my water fittings. And now, I know the back's going to work without an issue. So, having more than one way to charge your batteries, and I am going to put a shut-off switch on this. That way I can leave it off and leave the light on. Having more than one way, or you have to have more than one way to charge your batteries. You have to. If you only have solar and relying on solar on really bad stormy days, snowy days, and your solar's not working, if you're in your camper or in your off-grid shed or anything like that, your power is good as dead and gone in a matter of a couple hours. Depends on, you know, how many batteries you got. Like I say, I have a single battery in here. That's over here. I'm trying to get the volts and watts. 14, 2 volts. Now it is not putting any watts out. And let's see if I can get this in here. I think I need a new battery actually for my tester here. I do believe I do, because this is not reading correctly. So let's put this on DC 20 volts and let's see what it reads on the DC. I apologize. I apologize for the camera flipping like that. If I can get this to read and hold this camera at the same time. Now that's reading 14.18 volts coming in. So I do know my plugs do work. I have tested them. I do believe my battery on here needs to be replaced. Batteries. So having an extra way to charge your battery bank or your battery, if you only have one battery, you're limited. Very, very limited. Now, as long as I have the cables hooked up to the van and the van's running, I can run a couple larger items in here, such as a small microwave. And if I wanted to, I could plug it straight into the inverter. That way it's not pulling a draw off anything else. Anyway, this is a small upgrade. Once again, let's go out and take a look. I do believe it's going to rain. Like I said, I will disconnect the positive here. The main line I will leave hooked up, but I will disconnect the positive here and the positive here. Just like that. And I will zip tie that to that. And I will unhook this positive. And I can absolutely just leave the negative. And let go. But you do not want to have your positive connected here. Now, the negative is not an issue. I can wrap my negative around the frame. It is a negative. It's not a big deal. All right, let's go shut everything down. And this is my small off-grid update or upgrade, a larger inverter. Now, if I had more batteries, I would definitely go with a bigger inverter than this. This battery is very limited on the amount of power it puts out. It is very small. I do plan on possibly getting a couple dual cycle marine batteries, completely enclosing them off with a vent going outside, a couple holes through the bottom to let air come in. They weigh a lot more, but they put out so much more power. Once again, this little battery is not the best. There we go. That's it. If you have an off-grid camper, off-grid whatever, a couple things. Your inverter needs to be big enough, and you definitely need the battery capacity. Something like this is way too small for an off-grid system. I believe a 30-watt battery, something like that. Okay, that's it. I'm fixing to go. Everyone have a good day. There is one more thing I will possibly be doing, is setting up another charger controller for an extra solar panel outside, and that way I can 15, possibly 20 amp solar charger controller. That way I can juice down the power coming in to charge my power stations, possibly on the other side there. I don't know. We'll see what I do with that. But here we go. This is the update Anyway, that's it. Everyone have a good day. Bye.